Anyone can set up a watch brand. If I can do it, you can do it. But it is an awful lot of work, and that's one of the reasons why I shut down J&G Watches. I just didn't have the time and the patience for it. And just because it's easy to do, it doesn't mean all watch brands are equal, because they are not. Some people are just destined to do it. And David Campo, the founder of Nazumi Watches, is definitely one of those people. He has nailed it as far as I'm concerned. I love everything about this brand. The watch is great, but the brand is really good. Now, David set up Nazumi in 2011, but he started out by making denim and leather goods and transitioned to watches in 2015.
So, everybody, I've got to say, this brand by David Campo, Nazumi, looks fantastic. Yes, the watch has elements from the Tudor GMT. The hand, the hour hand in particular, it has elements. One that I think about that comes to mind is Zodiac. They have some dive watches that have that skeletonized looking hand. And this watch has like really much a toolish design, but also too, if you look at it closely, it's very well milled. The clasp is nice, the bracelet's nice. There's very little that people can complain about this watch. So let's take a look, because this is a really fun brand.
Best decision he's ever made. Now, I don't want to spend the first 5 minutes of this video talking about David and his influences. It's all on his website, and I strongly recommend you head over to the Nazumi website after you've watched this video. There is a link in the video description. It's not an affiliate link, it's just going to take you over there. It's well worth a visit, because I think it's one of the best watch micro brand websites I've come across in a long time.
Now, I want to say too, and kind of interrupt this regular program with this YouTuber's information. So this guy's name is I Like Watches. Take a look, like, subscribe. Again, his YouTube is I Like Watches. I like to take a look at different watch YouTubers and explore the entire watch world, and I'm very new to it. So welcome. And I apologize, guys. I'm a little under the weather, so I'm a little slower today than normal.
I love everything about the website, the color palette, the font, the pictures. They're so professional. The watches are really well designed. It all just seems to fit together. It's really clear that David knows what he's doing. This guy is a professional.
Beautiful.
There's no other way to put it, really.
Crystal.
He sent me a GMT watch to review for you guys, but yeah, the brand, the website, and everything sort of behind the scenes has impressed me as much as the watch. And the watch is good as well. There are a couple of weaknesses which I will obviously point out
That is a nice
in the
box.
review, but yeah, it's impressive. Designed
Look, their
and
logos on the
engineered
box
in
too.
Sweden. The movements are generally Japanese movements. The watches are assembled and tested in Germany, and I suspect all of the non-movement parts are made, well, all around the world. And they all come together in Germany.
That is a fantastically
to be
beautiful
assembled,
amalgamation.
and, yeah, you end up with one of these. A cracking looking true GMT. There's that phrase again.
That is
true
nice.
GMT. Google it. Now, the first thing I noticed about this watch when I saw it on the website was that the color palette of the watch matches the website. Very clever. Very clever. There is a downside to that. The lume on the dial, yeah, it struggles a little bit, and that's what happens when you add a color pigment to the lume and then apply it directly to the dial. So that is unfortunately one of the weaknesses. It's not a dive watch. The lume on the hands is good. There's no lume on the GMT hand, but that's not the end of the world. But yeah, the color of the hands and the markers on the dial is just a beautiful color. I love the color of the GMT hand as well. It sort of works like synergy. It all comes together to look really good. There's also a 3, 6, 9 and 12 on the dial, and those people that are familiar with my channel know I love a 369 and a 12. But yeah, 369s, 12s on dials, I like it. Looks really good.
You know, I really do think it's cool, like, when designers have complementary color schemes, and I think that this isn't very contrasted like some colors could be, but having two different shades of yellow could be a smart take. So, and I think they applied this very well, and I personally like it a lot.
So we've got a good looking GMT watch powered by the Miyota 9075, 28,800 beats per hour, hacks, hand winds, true GMT movement, traveller's GMT that means, 42 hours of power reserve. What else has this watch got? Well, it's fully brushed. There's no polishing on it whatsoever. And I bleat on in my reviews about polishing and transitions and brushing and how the two come together to look really, really good. And I do like that. But that's not to say I can't appreciate a fully brushed watch, and this one is beautifully made. It looks really, really good, and I think it's a good decision. It gives the watch a very sort of toolish look and feel. Great decision as far as I'm concerned. Yeah, fully brushed bracelet, clasp, case. I don't think there's any polishing or any other type of finishing.
Wow, I like this watch very much. This is
of course 316L stainless steel throughout. I've been sent a couple of alternative straps. The alternative straps as well are really, really good. I love the FKM rubber strap. I'll come on to those in a minute. Sapphire crystal, double domed, internal AR coating. Just impressive specifications throughout, which you would expect at this sort of price point. I'll talk about the price in a moment. So solid end links, solid links, double-ended quick-release spring bars, split pins, unfortunately. That is another one of those weaknesses that I mentioned. And the clasp on the bracelet is okay. It's got milled inner elements. The outer shell and the safety
latch. It has 200 meters of water resistance. 200. That's pretty phenomenal. I really am curious as to the price of this watch. This is very beautiful. I bet you anything that it has a stellar price for the worth that it provides.
I've experienced, they feel okay, they feel solid, they're not loose and wobbly. I think we're just used to slightly more substantial, I don't know what the word is, but yeah, clasps that feel and just look a little bit more substantial than this one. It's nicely finished, it's signed, it does the job, but it's got one of those sort of friction mechanisms, so you lift up the safety latch and then you just have to pull the outer shell open. I personally think the clasp is an upgrade to
some other watch brands.
Yeah, I do prefer double pushers, but it's a fairly minor thing, I think. And I think I've now mentioned the 3 weaknesses that I wanted to mention.
Now, there was like a couple of models ago for certain watch brands, such as Tag Heuer, for example. Their watch clasps, they kind of faltered a little bit. Now the new ones that came out are phenomenal, and they're definitely way better than this one, and they beat it out of the water. But the thing of it is that, like he mentioned, there has been a lot of evolution when it comes to watch clasps, and I think in particular one good watch clasp is going to be Zin. But again, it's good in the old sense, and this is kind of like that Zin watch clasp. So that being said, I think that this is a solid watch clasp, like he mentioned, but at the same time, like, it's something that can evolve further.
The loom, the clasp, and split pins. Yeah, that is all I can point out on this watch in terms of the weaknesses, because everything else
What's the price?
Is really good. I think the style of bracelet works with this case. The case is really, really cool. I like the case shape. I like the finishing. I like the shape of the lugs. The bezel, fixed 24-hour GMT bezel, beautifully finished, well proportioned. Yeah, it's clear David knows what he's doing when it comes to design and watch creation, because yeah, he has created a very, very nice watch. 200 meters of water resistance as well. Screw down crown, screw down case back. The case back's very nicely made. You got some details on there. I want to show you the straps now. The leather strap is nice. Feels like a quality leather strap. It's German made and it's got a signed buckle on it. Quick release spring bars. Yeah, it is a nice leather strap, but the FKM strap is one of the best, if not the best FKM strap I've ever encountered.
I noticed that watch strap is made in Stockholm, and I think the watch is made in Stockholm. And I think I'm getting a little bit of Stockholm syndrome with this watch. I think that if I bought it, I wouldn't be able to get rid of it. This is a very nice watch.
A very strange material, FKM rubber. If you've not experienced it or held an FKM rubber strap before, it's really dense. It's not at all sticky like silicone. And this one is super bendy and floppy. more so than any other FKM rubber strap I've ever experienced, making it incredibly comfortable. I also love the colour. He's nailed it as far as I'm concerned when it comes to just the colour palettes that he's used. And I know that's ridiculous, but
that's incredible.
I have to say it because it's true. It is one of the most appealing things about this brand, I think. The strap matches the colour on the dial, which in turn matches the colours used on the website. It just all ties together. And this is an incredible FKM rubber strap. It's available on all three of the strap options. Of course, it's going to be more expensive strap, on the bracelet. It's the cheapest.
These are all phenomenal.
FKM rubber
these are
strap,
really great options.
It's an extra $30 or so, I think, for the watch on the leather strap. I would recommend getting this watch on the stainless steel bracelet,
it looks like,
but then picking up this FKM
It looks like
strap.
The bracelet actually tapers too on this, so I can't fully tell from what I've seen so far. Maybe if I paused it, but it does look like the bracelet tapers, which is definitely a plus. I mean, obviously a lot of brands have bracelets that taper, but at this price point, I bet, and again, I don't know the price point yet, but I would imagine that at this price point for a micro brand, that is a lot of value.
Awesome. Now, something else I haven't mentioned, which I want to, is the packaging. When I got this watch, before I unboxed it,
yeah, that is beautiful.
It was so heavy. Did I just say gosh? I did, didn't I? It felt so dense and solid. The packaging is, it's heavy. It's surprisingly heavy. It doesn't look like it should be that heavy, and of course we often associate weight with quality, so I think he's intentionally lined his packaging with lead or something because it's just, well, too heavy for the size.
I wouldn't fault him for it.
The packaging is nice. Again, the colours are good, the design is good.
Experience is important.
Oh, he knows what he's doing, doesn't he? Definitely. There are a couple of options available. There's this one, and then there's also a blue dialed version. I do prefer this one. I think the black or very, very dark grey dial really, really works well with the colours that David's used on the dial. And of course, there's
I have to agree, the black just seems to work better.
2 leather, 2 FKM.
It's nice though that he does have more than one option for this.
So you will be able to pick this watch up on the FKM rubber strap for
I really want to see
$45.
the other watches
on the leather strap it's
$579,
and on the stainless steel bracelet it is $656. And for a watch made by this company with this movement inside it, I think that's a great price. I really, really do. These days, you don't tend to find affordable, true traveller GMT watches for much less than this. Of course, you can pick up NH34 power GMT watches for significantly less.
Oh wait, I wasn't even paying attention. But they do show the price.
Traveller GMT watches, $156. And for a watch made by this company with this movement inside it, I think that's a great price. I really, really do. These days, you don't tend to find affordable, true traveller GMT watches for much less than this. Of course, you can pick up
really good prices.
34 power GMT watches for significantly less than this, but this is not one of those. And if you don't like this watch, then I strongly recommend you head over to the website, have a look at the other watches that David has made. And funnily enough, David actually designed this watch many, many years ago, but wasn't convinced by the movement options available at the time. But of course, in the last couple of years, there's been a real surge of interest in GMT watches with the NH34 and this Miyota 9075 movement being created and being made available for relatively affordable amounts of money. And so, yeah, David put this option back on the table, finished it off, and here it is. I definitely want to get other watches from this brand into review because I'm impressed. I really, really am. He's created an unbelievable brand. He is a professional. I said it already.
Look at the
there's no doubt about it. Anyone can set up a watch brand, but not many people can do it as well as this.
Well, everybody, that was a great review and a great watch channel. My name is Daniel, and this is Chrono Sapien. Thank you for joining, and have a good day.